Explain like I'm 5. What does it mean by there was no time before Big Bang? The Big Bang is an event horizon. Anything on the other side of that horizon is completely inaccessible to us. There could have been time. There couldn't have been time. We don't know and can't know. What we do know is that time as we perceive it arose from the Big Bang. And any precursors are unknowable and inaccessible to us. If you're at the North Pole on the Earth, there's no north. Every direction is south. The Big Bang is like the North Pole of time. There's no before the Big Bang in roughly the same way there's no north of the North Pole. This is a bit hard to make and explain like I'm 5 for because it is hard to imagine how time works. Maybe you have heard that time slows down near super high masses like a black hole. If all matter in the universe is concentrated in one place, you have infinite mass and so time slows down infinitely. So the flow of time we know could not exist at that point. I guess that's the easiest way I can describe it. Physicists don't separate space and time, they're combined into space-time. Since space-time began as far as we know at the Big Bang, there was neither space nor time before it. Time is effectively a measurement of change. The Big Bang is the first eventful change we can perceivably measure. Everything before that is immeasurable. Because it is inaccessible, there is nothing before that event that we can draw data from. Therefore, as a measurement, time did not exist. Anytime you hear such claims, just always know that no one really has any fucking idea about this kind of stuff. What physicists know from observational evidence is that space-time used to be much more compressed. Not exactly the right word, but you can think of it this way, and matter used to be much hotter and more densely packed. Any speculation involving mathematical singularities' physical meaning, which is what this is unscientific pop-sci nonsense. The moment of the Big Bang is considered the beginning of the existence of the universe. As such, there is no before the Big Bang. If your next wondering is about what did the Big Bang happen in, find out and you win yourself a Nobel Prize. I see it like this. Time is a product of the change or evolution of matter in the universe. If everything that ever existed or will exist was once part of an infinitesimal, dense point without change, then time did not exist before the point that everything expanded into the universe. At the very boundaries of our observable universe, light that was emitted during and immediately after the Big Bang is reaching us right now. Time and space may have existed before the Big Bang, but so long as nothing circumvents the speed c. All data thus far suggests that anything that was not a part of the Big Bang must be too far away for any of its emitted light or gravity waves to ever reach us. Our understanding of time disappears at the 0 point because we're looking from the inside out. A multi-dimensional being will know the answer because they can live outside our limits and therefore have a better comprehension of what happened before the Big Bang. But then it begs the question, what happened before that being? So it's an endless cycle of what happened before. So it's just easier to say infinity or nothing. This is the only issue I have with this theory, and I think it hinges on the fact that there was no matter in existence and therefore no actor to observe the passing of time. In whatever state reality was in before the Big Bang, if you were able to teleport into whatever that was, I guess time would begin to exist as soon as you existed to observe it. People are giving very long, complicated answers. Time is the measure of change. There was nothing before the Big Bang. Nothing can't interact with anything in a way that would change. Therefore, since no change existed, time effectively did not exist either. Go to the North Pole. and try to go further north. You can't. You are as far north as you can go, there isn't any more north left. You go north, eventually you get to the North Pole. What happens if you keep going north? That question doesn't really make sense. Nothing is north of the North Pole. People have kinda talked around it. But the way I understand it is that time is irrelevant without space. The Big Bang didn't cause all of the matter to fill existing space. It caused the existing space to be created in the first place. What is the significance of 1 second if there is no motion? There is no distance. Or there is no temperature. If there is no space to measure movement or flow, what do you need time for? It's not really a reason as much as a thinking tool. But it helped me wrap my head around why it might be relevant to make said claim. I believe Hawking said it himself. That it means physics behaved completely different at that point. And the math and physics tells us we have no way of knowing what exactly was there before. Because it was like a cut-off point from our perspective. And it has no frame of reference in our world now. Don't think of it as a measurement of time, as in hours and minutes, but instead as a point in four-dimensional space, x, y, z, and t. Time, in the sense it's being used here, refers to the distance between events. An event, to a physicist, is the interaction between two objects, i.e. clumps of matter. In a paradigm where there is no matter, there are no events, and thus no time. Time can only be measured by the motion of something relative to something else. If nothing moves, time cannot be detected, since time itself is a measurement. No detection means that it doesn't exist, it's like a ruler of zero length. Such a ruler does not exist prior to the Big Bang. There was no mass distinct from another mass. No motion of one thing relative to another thing. So no time, it didn't exist. To ask how long this state of affairs lasted would be like asking how long is a ruler that doesn't exist. It's a bit like asking how much a boat weighed before it was built. You can't weigh it before it's built, because it doesn't exist. So the concept of weighing it simply isn't valid.